Happy Halloween guys, welcome back to Two Film Buffs, and here are the top facts about Art the Clown. You know, it's been a pretty long time since we had a new horror franchise villain. We all know about the classic guys like Mike Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Jigsaw, and horror fans have probably been wondering who's going to be the next horror icon to take over. Here is Art the Clown from Terrifier. Terrifier, much like Halloween, is an indie horror film that is quickly growing into a phenomenon. And with 3 movies out right now, it is looking to be like the next big horror franchise. But I must warn you, these movies are not for the faint-hearted. Art the Clown was created by writer and director Damien Leone. He also does the special effects and edits the movies. You can tell that he truly loves working in the horror genre. And if I must say so myself, he seems to do a pretty good job at it. Especially looking at scenes from Terrifier 1 to 3, you can see how much better he has really got as well. And just how much indie directors can do with a higher budget given to them. Art the Clown has a supernatural element. Although Mike Myers is human, he was essentially created by John Carpenter to be evil incarnate, and the entity that can't be killed. This is an element that Leon has incorporated into Art the Clown as well. He told Entertainment Weekly, "In most of these slasher franchises, the killer usually winds up getting killed. Spoiler alert for Halloween Ends.
Thanks a lot, you idiot."
And then he's supernatural, but the filmmakers just gloss over it. I wanted to really explore the supernatural evil as a character. And he is actually a physical apparition in this film. Leon then explained that Art is driven by a force to return to the town where the initial killing took place. And this also brings him back to Sienna. Art the Clown first appeared in a short made by Leon called The Ninth Circle, which he hoped would serve as a calling card to the film industry. After this, Leon made a short film that was adapted into a feature called All Hallows Eve. Leon first created Art back in 2006 after making 2 short films, and he thought that he had really had some sort of special connection with Art. Leon put the short film up on YouTube, and it got him the attention of a producer. And then Terrifier hit Netflix and it all blew up from there. Which I think should just be a massive message to all the indie filmmakers out there like myself to just put some of your work on here and just don't be afraid to show people because you never know who's watching. Terrifier 1 cost only $35,000 to make, but Terrifier 2 cost about $250,000 to make, which Leon has said that the movie made about 10 times over what it cost, making it one of the most successful indie films in recent memory. Art the Clown is played by David Howard Thornton, a native of Huntsville, Alabama. Like most horror actors, he's nothing like the evil entity he plays on screen. Leon once said in an interview, Art was originally going to be played by another actor who ended up leaving the industry. And then he found David, who he says is literally like Roger Rabbit came to life. He is a walking cartoon, and what he brings to that role is Looney Tune antics. Thornton was actually the 6th actor who auditioned for the role, and Leon says, "As soon as I saw him, I basically shut it down after that." Art the Clown actually came to Leon in a vision over 10 years ago. He said that, "I had this idea of a clown terrorizing a woman on a city bus. She's all alone, comes home from work or whatever, in the middle of the night, and then the clown gets on and sits across from her and starts staring at her and toying with her. It's awkward and uncomfortable and maybe even funny, but then it gets progressively more intimidating and more aggressive." Even though the big screen version of It made clowns terrifying again for the public audience, Leon felt that there was still room for another scary clown in horror. He said, "I felt like there was a void with clowns that hadn't quite been done yet, and he really felt that he could execute one." Leon told people that The Ninth Circle was his kitchen sink movie, where he threw a lot of different elements, but Art the Clown was one of the creative features that really stood out. Leon said, "I truly saw something special in him, and I knew there was something that was working." And thank God he did, because these franchise films are getting awesome. Even though Art the Clown is pretty much always going to be compared to Pennywise, there are quite a lot of differences about them. It, which was published in 1986, was first adapted into a TV movie in the 1990s, which no one really watched it for about 2 decades until it was resurrected in 2017 for a big screen adaptation, starring Bill Skarsgård. But those people who think that Pennywise and Art are similar are only really looking at the surface, and there is actually quite a number of differences between them. For example, Art the Clown is a serial killer. Unlike Pennywise, while Pennywise does crack jokes, he is rarely ever funny. Art has audiences genuinely laughing at points, only to follow up with a swift and shocking kill. Director Leon went out of his way to make the opposite of Pennywise. He said, "Art is bold, he's black and white, Pennywise is colourful, he has hair. Pennywise speaks, Art doesn't. Pennywise doesn't use weapons, Art the Clown uses any weapons he can get his hands on. There may be a 4th Terrifier movie coming very soon. The audience for the Terrifier is growing every single day, and obviously horror fans would love to see more and more sequels in the future. As Leon explained, he kind of wanted the movies to be in like a Kill Bill style of part 1 and part 2. So after part 1 and part 2 he decided to make 3. It only gives us the idea that part 3 could actually be another part 1 and part 4 could actually be another part 2. See what I did there? There was actually crowdfunding for both the original Terrifier 1 and 2 movies. I mean, making a movie, any movie, is hard, and raising money for a movie is one of the most significant roles, and it is unbelievably challenging. In the old days, you could just hit a pavement and find potential investors for an indie film, but now you have to do crowdfunding, which Terrifier utilized as well. In June 2019, Terrifier 2 raised $50,000 under 3 hours, and Leon wrote to the crowdfunding page, "The fans in the horror community are the backbone of this film. We want to give fans the opportunity to become part of this unique experience while helping us bring Terrifier 2 to the next level." As Thornton marveled in the interview, "I think it's amazing that most of the budget came strictly from the fans. We were only trying to raise about 50,000 and we raised over 200,000 in just a month's time. We are fans of this genre and we want to make the type of films that fans of this genre want to go see as well," which is personally just such a breath of fresh air to hear. And I'm sorry guys, indie filmmakers are just a way forward. Let's just try and take Hollywood down and let's just get these independent filmmakers to the top level, because that's where they deserve to be. Now, Terrifier has many fans all over the world, but one of the most notable ones recently is Stephen King. Yep, the person who made it himself. And much like I said before, when like Steven Spielberg gave props to Jordan Peele, this is just like one of those ones to get your nod from such a legend in the horror film genre like Stephen King, the guy who played It, basically the person who's comparing, like you're comparing Pennywise to Art the Clown, and now like the person who made that is praising you. That's just brilliant. But that's all we got time for today, guys. Thanks for watching that video. Don't forget to like,